Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Brian from Bear Bull Traders here, January 27th, Wednesday evening. Hope everyone had a good day today. Pretty crazy day in the markets. You can see here Dow lost 2%, NASDAQ more than 2%. Same with S&P, so we can dive into the numbers here quickly. But kind of curious, new highs, a lot more highs than new lows. We're starting to fade a little bit on the stocks that are above the 50 and the 200, but everything's been screaming higher, or just about everything. Lots of declining stocks today. So let's just dive into the details. So let's start out with the transports, like we usually like to do here. So you can see here, big down day on the transports. On the weekend, I said, had some concerns here. Looked like we were rolling over double top. We did on Friday challenge that 20-day moving average and then came back up, but kind of left a hanging man doji there. And again, Monday looked a little weak. We did lose the 20, but came back up again. But this is really the sign of some concern with traders, and of course the follow through Tuesday was down, and then we had the big gap down here day and off the lows of the day, but certainly not a very constructive set of candles here. And you can see here where we bounced right off. This was kind of a logical level, this 12,200. Here's where we tested that before at the 50, and kind of a breakout area here, a bit of a gap fill. Did that on volume, so and stochastics rolling over. MACD's been rolling over. RSI heading lower. So, I'm not sure if we're done going down here, but it'll be interesting to see how we finish out the week. We've got 2 days left. Let's kind of jump past the treasuries at this point. Let's talk about the Dow. Again, Dow, we just hung on to the 50 moving average. Again, not a great day. Went out pretty close to the low of the day, down 2% on volume. As you can see here, stochastics again rolling over. RSI lost 50, we're heading down. So again, kind of double top. I kept speaking about this, how it looked like we were putting in some topping formation here, and sure enough, we're getting some downside now. One of the interesting things that I've noticed is that all these earnings reports that are coming out now, just about every stock ends up selling off, despite what they seem to come out with. So started out with the financials when we kicked off earnings. Pretty much no matter what they said, every financial sold off after their earnings, and this is a pattern that seems to be now following through here. So IWM again down, not down quite as much, 1.83%. Again, kind of losing momentum here. You can see RSI rolling over. Bit of a spinning top type doji there, so indecision candle. And again, stochastics starting to roll over. I don't think we're going down here. Again, we kind of held this 20 moving average. So we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But certainly I think we're looking at maybe a pullback for the next couple days here. The Qs, kind of same comment here. We got back down to the 20 and bounced off that. But went out pretty close to the lows of the day on volume. Again, RSI rolling over, pretty much all the same comments. Index is looking a little bit weak here. So let's get to the dollar. The dollar, strong today actually. Off the highs of the day, but again, starting to looking like it's maybe going to break out here. This is an area of resistance, obviously, at this moving average as well. Stochastics are starting to turn up, so it looks like dollar's going to continue to strengthen maybe. And with that, you're going to see some emerging markets maybe sell off some more, because we did see that today. And gold, silver, not good for those stocks either. And the VIX, obviously, we were looking at this on the weekend. It was just kind of holding support here, kind of chopping around in this range. And of course, with this sell-off, we had this huge spike in the VIX. I suspect that as things sort of settle out in the next couple of days, the VIX will pull back again. TLT, this is the price of bonds. And again, we had a bit of a gap up day. Turned around through the day, but again, this is an indication yields are kind of rolling over here, which is what we saw in this chart here. This U.S. 10-year Treasury. You can see here we've lost this moving average, which has been support, and now it looks like interest rates might actually be heading back down again. Stochastics below 40 or 50, I should say, and we know that generally speaking, rallies at this point tend to get faded. So trend is looking like it's shifting to the downside on yields and to the upside on the value of bonds. So of course, as we say, when the yields drop, it's not good for financials, and I think you'll see this here as we take a look at the individual sectors, how they performed. Pretty much all the same looking charts here. We've got discretionary sold off pretty hard, trying to hold on to the 50. Big drop in communications. Again, technology. Technology will probably be the one that holds up in this. Industrials really took a hit today. It was already trending lower and had lost the moving averages here. Materials, again, strengthening US dollar, dropping off. Energy, kind of what part of the materials sector, but again, it's not. It's been losing ground here as well. Even the staples, even some of the what you would call value trades have lost some altitude today. Utilities, staples, real estate not hit so much. Financials again, as the interest rates drop, of course, not good for financials, and financials have been rolling over ever since we've had those all those earnings reports a week or so ago. So yeah, financials not looking particularly good here. We're coming back down to an area where we broke out from. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually can hold this moving average here. So let's jump over to some of these crazy stocks that have been in play for the last couple of days. Here's AMC. Mentioned this on the weekend here. You can see what a crazy day it had today. Massive gap up, and you can see here we really sold off during the day, but then came right back up. 96 on the RSI. Look at the volume today, huge. Really overbought here, and probably expecting a pullback. It looks like in the after hours, it looked like our other big one, the GME, was pulling back a little bit. Bed Bath & Beyond, another big squeeze here. Again, gap up today, despite the fact the market sold off. So, this highlights the idea that this is, starting to become a stock picker's market. So you're going to have, when the market's selling off like 600 points on the Dow and you have moves like this on individual stocks, you've really got to be into the areas. If you want to make money, you've got to be trading the areas that are seen to be hot. And again, I would say this is overly hot. Be looking for a pullback. Again, interesting, hangman formation here on this doji, but 98 on the RSI. You almost never see that. You can see the volume really dropped off here today. So not as much trading activity today, which is kind of interesting. Again, I think we're in for a bit of a drop here on these, so just be careful. Space again rocketed up to excuse the pun, rocketed up to 60, well off the highs of the day. Again, I'd be looking for a bit of a pullback. Huge volume day today, but again, really overbought, and Fleet really didn't do anything. Gonna have to take that off. So we'll definitely be looking for opportunities on this pullback here. EEM is going to be one that's I'm going to be watching. I think emerging markets still look good, and I'll be looking to maybe add on some bottoming action. BNM, I've been into this one too, and huge down day today. I've just got a very small size on this now. I just noticed it was rolling over here on the weekend, and heading lower here. So looking at maybe an entry back here at 17 might be a good place to get back in. But again, looking for opportunities as we start to sell off here. Let's look at silver quickly. Silver and gold, I've been out of these trades for a while. They just seem to be, in a bit of a chop fest here. This is what I call a dog's breakfast when it comes to a chart. You've got no particular trend, just up and down gaps. Just if you're trying to trade this, you're just getting chopped up. So sort of just watching this to see if we can get a trend to develop one way or another. If the dollar is going to strengthen, I will see if this level can hold if the dollar does continue to strengthen. So still have a small position in LAC here, and holding on to that. They did a secondary at 22, and I'll be looking for. Hopefully, this will hold the 19 level. I'm willing to give it a bit of room. Just got a small position in it right now, and I was also looking at Plug. They just did a secondary at 65. Found out that today, so we just finished a little bit off that secondary price offering. Of course, this is not unusual. Companies need money. They'll throw some stock out onto the market when their stock price is elevated, like Plugs is. But you can see here it was really overbought, and we're just getting a bit of a pullback here. So I'd be again looking at opportunity to maybe get into Plug around $61, somewhere around there. Here's let's take a look at this candle. Low was 58.73. Open was about 60. Low on this candle, 60. So yeah, if we can get a bit of a pullback, a little bit more of a pullback, I'd be looking at an entry here on Plug. Again, trying to go with things that have been working. And some of the other names like Fuel Cell have been good. So again, expecting a little more weakness. Fuel Cell didn't have a bad day. They're only off 1/3%. And but again, I'd be hesitant to look at this one just because it's up here and it's probably going to do what Plug did. You're probably going to see a secondary offering come out here on Fuel Cell. Would not be surprised at all. And then maybe on a pullback, maybe they'll do their offering around $16 or $17, somewhere around there. And on a pullback, opportunity to get in there as well. Okay, so that's everyone. That's it, everybody. I'm just going to make it short and sweet tonight. Again, expect more volatility tomorrow. These squeezes that are really overbought. We're looking at the aftermarket hours. Trading action right now. AMC is down a lot. I'm guessing. Haven't looked at GME. The last time I did look, it was down a fair amount. So watch out tomorrow. Probably a lot more volatility. Generally with the squeezes and also in the market as well. So just sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. Let's step to the sidelines. Let's watch, keep an eye on things, and see where things go from here. So again, this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade, if you haven't checked it out. And as usual, we'll see you in the Bear Bull Trading Room, hopefully 8:30 live. Norm and Carlos taking us through the pre-market show, and then trading the market open at 9:30. Have a great rest of the evening, everybody.